to Softech Coding. This is the 21st episode of our Coding Let's Scratch series. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. I am continuously going to make videos. Welcome back to those who have already watched past episodes, including part 1 of this project. But if you're just beginning to code or you haven't watched previous episodes, you don't have that background of knowledge, I would highly recommend starting from episode 1, or at least the last part, so that you know what we did before in this project. And if you could please also share this video with your friends and family, I would really appreciate it. And smack that like button. Alright, let's get started. So, we are going to be continuing this project here. Right now, what we had coded was the acceleration factor for our trumpet. We managed to make it accelerate and go faster as you held the left and right arrow keys, so now it's ready to catch any music notes coming its way. So the first thing we need to do is hover over or choose a sprite and paint a sprite. Now we're going to be painting music notes. So I would like it if the music notes are purple, since, you know, purple is the opposite of yellow. But, I mean, you guys can choose your own colors. So I'm going to reduce this to 0 and put it at an angle. So I'm going to be doing a nice angled note. So I'm going to be using the line tool. And I think we should make quarter notes, or yeah, quarter notes, maybe, or we might do eighth notes. We'll see what we'll do. So I'm just going to choose the same color. We might change the colors later. We'll see. So right now we have a size 4. So I'm just going to click here, hold shift, and move up. So I'm just going to click here and click on this and just increase the thickness so that it makes sense. It's a size 16 thickness now. So yeah. And yeah, I think that's good. Maybe we should make 8 notes. Maybe. Okay, so now if you guys don't know music, a whole note is just an oval, looks kind of like this. The half note kind of looks like an empty oval with a stem. Quarter note looks like this, and an eighth note is usually attached to another one, or it can just have a flag. So yeah, that's some music theory there for you. So we're just gonna click on this cursor, and I'm gonna select this and copy and paste it. I'm gonna put it here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach them. I'm gonna actually use the paint tool, make it 16. So that it matches in size. And I'm actually going to make a squiggly line. That doesn't look very good. Let me try that again. So I'm going to be making, let's try this again. Let me click away. Oh. Paint. I'm going to be painting a squiggly line so that it looks nice. And remember, you can just select your squiggly line and make it like less dramatic if you want. It doesn't look that bad. But I think I just want it to be a straight line. So if we just click on the line tool, you can just experiment with different things. I'm just going to type the number 16 in here. And click on this, and click on this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and do you see that little like blue dot there? That connects them exactly. So I'm just going to move this part a little bit higher. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And maybe we should increase the thickness of these bars here. So now we've got our notes here. I'm just going to select them all and click group. So now whenever I pull one of them, they all move together. So now that we've made our notes, I'm going to actually click on the fill. I kind of want to make a gradient, maybe from top to bottom. And I want to make this purple a little bit darker, maybe. And another color, I like the blue. So what if we try this? So now these are all thought of as one. That's really cool. And I'm going to try the radial one for the actual bottom notes. And I'm going to do the tips of the notes as a purplish color. That doesn't look that bad, but I think I'd prefer it if they were more the vertical ones. So you guys can experiment too. Remember that you guys can also choose how you want your notes to look, or if you even want to make notes at all. So I'm going to ungroup this because I want this note part to go in front. Reselect it and group it. So now I'm happy with these notes. I think they look pretty sweet. So I'm going to click on code, and I'm going to make them a little bit smaller, maybe size 50. Remember, we want to make the trumpet be able to catch them. So let's maybe make the trumpet a little bigger too. So we want our trumpet to be able to catch the notes. They need to be a little bit smaller. 25. Oh, I think that's a bit too small. How about we make them maybe 30? Oh, that didn't work. 30. Okay, still fits. 40. Still fits. So we want them to be able to nicely go in here. So now we have finished our music notes. I'm just going to name it music notes. So now what we're going to do is when it touches our trumpet here, then we want to make sure that it adds a point. So the first thing we want to do is pull out our when green flag clicked block. So when our green flag is clicked, we want it to go as high as possible. So I think this is the highest it will go. So that's Y 194. All right. So when green flag clicked, we want it to go to Y 194 and X. Let's go to operators here. There's a pick random block. So it chooses the X randomly. Now I don't want it to pick from 1 to 10. We want it to pick from, we want it to go here. From here, the X is negative 219. So we're going to write that in the first one. And, or here, where does our X? 216. So we can just make it 219. So we're going to pick our X randomly from negative 219 to 219. So horizontally, it's going to go randomly. As you can see, if you look at the notes, you can just see the tips of the notes. And it goes to a new spot every time. So the X is the same, but it's always the same. The X, is different every time. But the Y is always the same. So it's always at the very top. It's just different places horizontally. So now we want it to glide down once that happens and forever keep on checking if it's touching our trumpet. So we're going to go to control, pull out our forever block and our if block. So motion, we want to change Y by this block because we want it to keep on going down. So that's going to be a negative number. So how about like a negative 4 or something? We can increase this or decrease this later depending. So we're going to forever change our Y by negative 4. And if we're going to go to sensing, we are touching our trumpet, then we want it to go to looks, hide, and go back to the top. Now what we can do is instead of doing this, okay, so we're going to do hide and go back to the top, right? We're just going to test our code and see if it works, and then later we're going to change this code and remove the hide and just make it delete this clone because we're just going to be making lots of clones so that they can just quickly come down and delete themselves once it's done to just reduce bugs in our code. So if we're touching the trumpet, then we just want to hide and go back to the top. So we're going to go back to the top, pick a new random spot, and we want to show after that, go to looks, we want it to show after that, and keep on going down, because it's going to forever keep on going down anyway. So if we're touching the trumpet, then we're going to hide, go to the top and show, and we have to do another if, let me just see, so that just still works. So if we are less than, let's say, if our place is less than, so we want to go here. So if we're going to go to motion, we're going to pull out our Y position. So if our Y position is less than a certain number, so let's say we're just going to make this 0, Y position. You can also experiment like this, right? Negative, for example, 200. Yeah, since that's more than the value it can go, then it just goes the lowest it can. So that's number's negative 196. So if we're negative, then if we're less than negative 195, because it has to be less than that, right? Because negative 196 is less than negative 195. If we're less than that, then we do the same thing, except this one has to have one difference. We're going to go to variables, we're going to make a variable, we're going to call it score. So in the beginning, we're going to set our score to 0, And as we go on, if we're touching the trumpet, we want to keep on changing our score by 1 if we touch it. Let's go over this again. 1 go is clicked. We're going to go to a random spot and forever keep on going down. If we're touching the trumpet, then we're going to go back to the top and go to a random spot, change our score by 1, show, and keep on going down, because that's going to keep on happening no matter what. And if we're below a certain point, which is negative 195y, then we're going to hide, go to the top, and show. We're not going to, and we have to make the player lose a point because they weren't able to catch it. All right, so let's see if this works. So let's see if we catch it. Okay, so our score increased by 1. We got a score of 2, a score of 3, score of 4, score of 5, and it went somewhere else. So it's pretty easy to catch it right now. So now, once we touch it, it just spawns back at the top. So we can also make it play a trumpeting sound, which would be pretty cool. We're going to go to sounds. We're going to choose a sound, and we're going to go and find trumpet. So let's choose one. I like this one. So I'm going to go to code and sound, and whenever you touch the trumpet, it's going to play the sound. So let's see if it works. Oh, but the problem is it waits until the sound is done before it comes back. So we have to make it start sound. So it starts the sound, but it doesn't bother waiting for it to finish. So it'll just continue on. Yep, so that works. So now, in the next video, we are going to be making the music notes actually make clones. So we're going to make different difficulties. So if you choose difficulty 1, less of them will spawn. If you choose difficulty 2, more of them will spawn. And if you choose difficulty 3, a lot of the notes will come at once, and it's going to be very difficult for you to get them all. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next part. So thanks for watching. We have lots of other videos and many more are coming. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Please share this video with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'll see you in the next video.